Welcome back to Manga Storian's Complete Story Series. Today we're going to be covering Berserk, Volume 30, which is Chapter 262 to 264. Now in our last video, the duel between Guts and Serpico ended when Guts managed to use his surroundings to break through Serpico's defenses. Once the group was reunited, there wasn't much time to talk about the Kushin mages that sent the demonic tigers to attack everyone attending the Royals' ball. With the last of the beasts falling, Farnese realized that her place was not within the stone, but at the side of her friends fighting for a brighter tomorrow. As the last of the tigers fall, all of the royals in the reception hall begin to stare at Farnese, asking if the heiress to the Vandeminion is really a witch. As everyone talks amongst themselves, Lady Vandeminion looks at her daughter and how she's acting with everyone, stating that she knew that she was something else, but not a witch. However, it's no surprise that she would never be so trusting to tell any of her family. Trust is something that never existed in the house of the Vandeminion. Just then, soldiers begin to run into the hall, and Guts says that they should probably leave now. Before they can, though, Ferretico tells them to wait. The group stops and turns back, and Ferretico says that he represents everyone here. He would like to give them his gratitude for dealing with this mayhem. Soon the entire hall begins clapping, and Ishidoro sticks his nose out, stating that that's right, more applause, please! Once the clapping slowly dies down, Ferretico continues to tell everyone that tonight's disgusting strangeness was none other than the work of the Kushan. They've sent these creatures here to assassinate the ministers who gathered for the ball. There have been rumors that the savages prefer to use beasts for battles, using some form of drug to incite them. One of the royals asks, how does that make any sense? They've all just witnessed her daughter earlier using magic. The room begins to fill with murmurs of the royals, and Ferretico holds his hand up to silence everyone. He tells them all this was most likely an illusion. They saw things because the Kushin managed to drug either the wine or that fog that came in. Regardless of what they all saw, the Kushin are trying to destabilize the executive branch of the Holy See and throw the allied forces into confusion. It would be foolish of them to fall into such an obvious trap. It would be disgraceful. Or would any of them like to talk about fairies or monsters on the night before the war and become the laughing stock of the troops? The royals all begin to talk and say that that is true. Surely their eyes were just playing tricks on them. And as Ferretico goes on, Guts tells Farnese that her father is a strong man, and she says that she believes that as well. But then the bodies of the tigers begin to burn, and Guts and Shirkei start to feel a presence coming on. Fire shoots into a ball above everyone, and then a voice asks, an illusion, you say? The ball of fire explodes, revealing the giant face of Emperor Ganishka. Everyone in the room falls silent, and they stare, and Guts can already feel it. He's an apostle! Ganishka then tells everyone that he would like to announce to them that he is the great Emperor Ganishka of the Kushin army. At this very moment, he is declaring war on a heretic alliance. The illusion that they just witnessed is the beginning of a never-ending nightmare. Soon the fire begins to fade, flowing back out of the windows, and the entire room is left speechless. Guts begins to think to himself that that thing is an apostle. If he's an apostle, does that mean that he is involved in this battle? Once the crowds begin to snap out of it, they all begin to run towards the windows, shouting that there's a fire coming from the harbor. Guts looks out, stating that it's already started. Along the harbor, the Kushin alligators from before start to jump out of the waters, biting down on anyone close by. The people fortunate enough to not get eaten turn to run, but then they see another set of fangs. Blood begins to drip off of the Kushin tiger's teeth as they begin to inch closer and closer to the remaining civilians. But then, from the burning ships, the Kushin army starts to walk out, and all of them are demonic soldiers. Back inside of the reception hall, Serpico says that this is bad. All of the ships are burning before they have a chance to leave. And just then, Roderick runs up to the group, telling them that he heard most of the details from Farnese's brother. They're looking for a ship, right? Maybe he can help them. Ishidoro and Puck both ask who the heck is that, and Shirkei says that is Farnese's fiancé. Farnese begins to speak, but Roderick tells her that it's alright. Tell him where their destination is. Shirkei speaks up that it is the island of Skellig, and Puck adds that it is an elfin paradise, and then Ishidoro says more like elf hell. Roderick mentions that he's heard of it before while in the port, but then it's settled. He'll take them there. The ship is more of a war ship though, so if they can bear that, they can set sail. Guts and the others quickly state that that would be great, and Farnese asks if he's sure. The war is about to start, and Roderick tells her that he only came to deliver His Majesty's missive. His work here is done. But before Roderick can go on, Magnifico pulls Roderick back, asking why is he helping them. Roderick whispers that it's fine. He doesn't want to throw this engagement away. He still wants the same, right? The only natural thing that he could think of was to show his good side to his future wife. Farnese overhears the conversation and then begins to look back at Guts. As Roderick looks back, he notices Farnese looking at Guts and he walks over to introduce himself. He knocks on his armor, stating that it's nice to meet you, and Guts tells him, yeah, good to meet you too. Roderick then says, all right, let us be on our way. Thankfully, we've dropped anchor outside of the harbor. The group starts to move outside when Farnese looks back at her father and then he notices her. He goes back to trying to calm down the restless crowds, but once everyone moves into the hallway, a voice calls out to Guts asking if he may ask him a question. Guts looks down to see Owen, the former commander of the Knights of Midland. Owen then asks, you wouldn't happen to be the once commander of the raiding squad for the Band of the Hawks, would you? Guts doesn't answer, and Owen goes on telling him that although his appearance has changed, there's no doubt about him, it is him. He used a giant sword back then too, and he rode alongside the White Hawk. His name was, but Guts cuts him off, telling him, leave it be. That was a long time ago and I'm rather busy right now. As he turns, Owen stops him again, telling him that there is something that he would like to ask him. The Hawk. Where is Lord Griffith? Guts tells him, how would I know? We're finished here, but he might be closer than you think. As the rest of them catch up, Shirke asks who is that, and Guts says that he is just searching for someone that he thought he resembled, nothing more. Meanwhile, out a ways from the city, a group of clergymen from the Holy See are on their way to the city when they stop to allow Pontiff to rest due to his illness. Outside of his tent, the clergymen speak that with the current condition of the Pontiff, they must look at candidates to replace him. They then begin to speak to the Pontiff on how his leadership is neither good nor bad. He's had no great achievements, but he didn't misrule either. His reign was just unremarkable. Inside of the tent, the dying Pontiff listens to his men speak of him, and he begins to reflect back on his life. They're right, it was boring. He grew up with an average life with loving parents. The only reason he followed the path of faith was because nothing else really interested him. There was no love, there was no hate, just doing what he was told and nothing more. The Pontiff closes his eyes to finally let the flickering candle that is his life fade. But then he sees something. White feathers. The image starts to become more in focus, and he sees the white wings of someone. The Pontiff leans up asking if it's true. Has he come for him? The hand of fate right here. And then as the image fades, the Pontiff wakes up from his dream asking if it was real. He looks at his hand stating no, the sensation of its touch is still there. And just then there's a shouting coming from outside of the tent as the voice of a young girl asks if this is where the Pontiff is. They have to relay an important message. The guards push back whoever it is, and the voice then says, hang on. If the fate has grasped this hand, follow the guidance of the Feather of Light. The guards tell the young girl that that's enough, and then the Pontiff shouts to wait, let them in. Suddenly the tent is opened and there stand Sophia and Mule. And Sophia says, ah, is the old guy there that the one? Mule takes his helmet off, telling Sophia to show some respect. And as he kneels, he tells the Pontiff to please pardon their impoliteness from visiting at this time of night. But they do come to accompany his eminence to his intended path. The clergymen start to come in stating how dare a pair of children be of any use to them. And Mule begins to think that Griffith's plan wasn't such a good idea. Sophia whispers to him not to worry. There's no doubt that this will work because she said so. The guards reach down, grabbing the two of them, and the Pontiff tells them to wait. It is as these two have suggested, they will depart immediately. And with that, everyone here is forbidden to speak to anyone else about this. It is under a direct order from the Pontiff. Just then, a messenger can be heard from outside stating that the city is under attack. The Pontiff smiles. All the signs are falling into place as if to show him the path of fate. The flame of life will surely burn low, and this will be the time that he shall give his life meaning. The Pontiff then reaches out to Sophia and Mule, telling them to lead him on to wherever they're bound to. The divine revelation has been received. And that concludes our current chapters of Berserk. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to support this channel and keep it going, please subscribe to this channel, and if you want to do more than that, follow us on Twitter at Mangastorian. We would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you next time right here.